I guess the first thing I'd say to someone recently diagnosed with Hep C is don't panic. For the vast majority of people, it's not a rapidly progressing illness. It probably won't affect your lifestyle, maybe, well, probably won't affect the way you live, and perhaps never will. There are treatments available. It's worth finding out about treatments, it's worth talking to people, it's worth talking to your health professionals and finding out more about the illness. But first and foremost, don't panic.
Don't be scared. Don't run for 15 years like I did. There's lots and lots of support, information, services. The treatment options are far better than what they were in the early 90s or in the, even 10 years ago. They've changed so much. Don't be afraid anymore. And there are healthcare workers out there, my colleagues and I among them, that won't discriminate, that will help and help you through the process of getting into liver treatment. We actually have the liver treatment nurses associated with us now, and they come to our clinics once a fortnight to engage those clients.
Talk to specialists in the hepatitis C area, because they will be better informed than most local GPs. And just think about the options and think about what's right for you, and don't let people bully you, whether they're health professionals or your family. It's a very personal thing about when you're ready to face up to this and face treatment, and there's no hard and fast rules.
Learning to ask for help is exactly learning, and when I was doing it, I found I was a lot of fear. I just felt like I didn't really know how to ask for help. It wasn't kind of in my vocabulary. So it is difficult, but it starts with one person, being able to talk to another person.
Get a great support network together. That would be my first thing. No matter what it is, just get a great support, system put in place, because that is going to be what you're going to need to lean on. And you can grab that support from anywhere. It can be within the health system, it can be family, it can be friends, just putting it together. Because once you start on treatment, it's amazing what it'll do to people. And everyone's different. Not everyone's going to go through the isolation and everything. Not everyone's going to go through the mood swings. We're all different. But still, you need a support system there for you, for whenever it does happen.
To healthcare workers looking after anyone with hepatitis C, no matter what service you work in, I suggest that education is a good way to go for them, like to understand it more and to ask themselves, does it really matter how the person was infected as to how they're going to treat that person? We're
human. I'm not an alien. We're not aliens. We have an illness, just like cancer, it's an illness. We deserve to be treated with respect.
All these areas, there's a lot of preconceived ideas, there's a lot of stigma, and people really need to think things through, especially health professionals. And I think most of the ones I've had interaction with really have, and have been more than positive.
It'd be good for someone in a health professional to have a bit of empathy, right? And also to not be judgmental, and all of that. Yeah, and to be a little bit more, not to just because they know what's going on, not to just sort of think that they're going to say, okay, this is what you've got. This is how you get rid of it, or you try to get rid of it. This is what you do. I think going into a little bit more detail is really good, and preparing the client or the patient for what's about to come. I was very, very fortunate with my Hep C nurse. She didn't hold nothing back with me. She told me exactly how it is, and I kind of left there and had to deal with it, But it was a good way to deal with it.
Basically, it's just listening to how they feel, I think, and having a bit of knowledge on board and not being judgmental or criticising or telling them perhaps to do it this way, that way.
I guess in the theme of don't panic, I'd say to people working with Hep C, don't try not to panic the people that you're working with, to reassure them, to accept and validate their experience, even though it may not be strictly in line with what your training as a health professional is telling you is happening. It is their experience. That's how they're feeling it. And you have to validate and accept that and then work forward as a health professional.
I'd say I'm that person with as much information, especially surrounding support networks. You know, find out if they do have a support network in place. If not, give them information on where to go to get that support.
I can't see any harm in being informed. I can't see that leading to bad. The more information you get, I mean, don't overload yourself on information and don't get it all from one source, but the more informed you are about your options, that will help you make a decision that's right for you and right for your future.
My life now is a lot better. I do have that extra bit of energy. I can eat foods I like, and I'm not active in Hep C. I still have the antibodies, and that treatment does work. It is curable. Some people it's not, but there's new treatments coming up all the time that carry a bit more hope. And really, when I look back on it, it was well worth doing it a second time around for a longer period because it did work. And yeah, I feel great now that at least I don't have to live with the idea that, you know, I've got to watch whose blood my blood might share with in case in an accident or something. I'm not frightened by that anymore.